Welcome back to my podcast, my friends. Today I decided to do an audio recording at the park. So I am laying on a blanket in this beautiful green grass. I have trees all around me, the warm sun. I can hear the birds. I'm trying to gather all of the consciousness that I can gather because I have been so numb. And so that's why this podcast is a couple of days late being put out there, because I had a hard time just being present and not being in my head. So I'm trying to connect with my heart right now. I am so glad that we're reading this book. I read the whole book, but then I'm going to just talk about part one. There's 4 chapters in part 1. And this book is so good. It's actually something I really need right now. Part 1 is Awakening Consciousness, and it has 4 chapters. Chapter 1 is The Voice Inside Your Head. Chapter 2 is Your Inner Roommate. Chapter 3 is Who Are You? And then chapter 4 is The Lucid Self. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about each of the chapters. And first of all, this definitely goes along with all of the things that I've learned from my mentor. It really is just a new way to look at it. And so the first chapter, he talks about the voice inside of your head. And I want you to picture you going into a social event. And if you're like me, you're thinking, I wonder who's there. Should I even go? Should I wear this outfit, or do I look weird? Like, there's a lot of things that go through my head, especially if I'm going into a new social environment. Even though I really love people, I still get nervous about those kind of things. And so all of us have this internal dialogue. Basically, what Michael Singer is inviting us to do is to step back and notice what this voice is saying. And so you'll realize that your mind is constantly talking to you, and it is like narrating the world for you. And then another thing that he talks about is that the voice inside of your head is trying to make you more comfortable about the world around you. So you'll notice that your mind is talking all of the time because you gave it a job to do. You gave it a job to make every situation comfortable for you. So stepping back and you're noticing, like, the person that's talking inside of your head is not you. I've learned this for a while, but I'm noticing that because I've been so distracted, I haven't wanted to even think about it. I've been really doing a lot more numbing out and watching a lot of TV, being on social media, so I didn't even listen to this voice because I don't want to hear it. But it's still there, but I'm ignoring it. I'm distracting myself. Okay, so chapter 2 is The Inner Roommate. If you think about your inner voice as a separate person, for example, if you were getting married to somebody and someone told you, oh, this is not the right person to marry, you wouldn't even listen to them. But if the voice inside of your head will tell you that, then all of a sudden you think it's like true and you start getting nervous. So I think that goes along with the first part where you're separating yourself from that voice, because for some reason we think it's truth just because we have the thought. So this inner roommate constantly talks and talks and talks. And generally we don't notice it because it's something that we've been used to for our whole life. So it's almost like you're hypnotized into listening to it. If we think about how we're really talking about ourselves, we'll realize that we are roommates with like the worst person ever, because we are not kind to ourselves. So as we are writing down our thoughts and noticing our thoughts, now we can picture it as if it's a roommate and has a different name. So we're going to separate ourselves, actually give it a name. That'll be kind of interesting to see how we think differently about it if we will write down those thoughts and then actually picture somebody else saying that instead of it being ourselves. I think it will make us realize a lot more. Chapter 3 is called Who Are You? And I've been noticing since July, since I've had this new kind of awakening, I don't even know how to explain who I am anymore. Because a lot of times we'll say, oh yeah, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a singer, I'm obese, like all these things that we attach ourselves to, when really that's not who we are. we are our own consciousness. We are a spirit. We are a soul. We are not a body. We are not what we do. We're not how old we are. We're not the things that we accomplish. We just exist as an energy or a consciousness, a spirit, a soul. And that is so hard to embrace. So how do you explain who you are? I am love. I am light. That was kind of mind blowing for me, because I've noticed that I am having a hard time explaining who I am. But maybe we don't have to explain who we are. Maybe we just show people love, and that's who we are. So it's just a new way of looking at things. I thought that was pretty good. Who are you? How do you say who you are? How do we explain who we are? That's interesting. And then the last chapter in this section is chapter 4. It's the lucid self. I listened to this chapter so many times, and I thought it was interesting, but it's really hard to explain. But one of the things that really stood out to me is, like, if you go to the movie and you're really absorbed in the movie, you're emotionally involved in the movie, then you might go 2 hours without like any awareness of yourself, and you'll be lost in that. And that's one thing that I've been noticing about my life right now, is that I am lost in all these things, all these outside things, so that I don't have to listen to that inner chatter. It is actually one of the chapters that really made a difference to me, because I was realizing how much I was ignoring myself, ignoring that voice in my head. I was wanting to be engulfed in something else, so I wasn't paying attention to who I am. One thing that I'm noticing since July, I feel like I have opened up myself and realized that I wasn't who I thought I was. And so it's like this new self-discovery. I don't know if I want to find who I really am, but isn't that why we go through these things? Like, isn't that the whole purpose of the reason why I'm going through all of this, is so that I can find myself? And I'm just wondering, like, what am I so scared of? Why am I scared of letting go of who I was that wasn't serving me, and embracing who I am? And maybe it goes back to that chapter of who am I? Like, I identified myself as all these things, and if none of that really matters and I'm just me, then where does that leave me? And I think that's where I'm at right now in my life, is I have got to stop numbing out with social media and food, because on the other side of that is the freedom of finding out who I am. And I don't know why I'm avoiding that. That's very interesting. It's kind of, turning in my mind right now, going, oh, I see what you're doing. Oh, okay. You're involved in this movie. You're involved in this social media. You're ignoring all of this. And so what I've been feeling lately is that I need to put that away, put away social media for a while, not be so engaged in all of that, and be more with myself. Give myself a chance to, like, find out who I am. I'm going through all of this, and I don't want to just quit and just stop searching and just, lay down and die. Like, if the person that I was isn't me anymore, or if I'm realizing it was just all a story, then why would I just lay down and die and not want to discover what else there is, And I'm realizing that I'm scared of the unknown. Like, even dying, I'm scared of dying, because I don't know what to expect. I want to control all the outcomes. That's been a similar theme for me ever since I was a little girl. Controlling how people see me, controlling how, if they like me or not, and all those things. So anyway, this has been very interesting. Next week, we're going to talk about this part 2, which is experiencing energy, infinite energy, the secrets of the spiritual heart, and transcending the tendency to close. Because I'm closing off from myself, I'm finding myself resisting sharing anymore. I'm wanting to cocoon myself so that I don't know, I'm just in this stuck pattern. But I'm ready to let go of that. I'm ready to move and let go of the control and see what emerges out of this. So we will talk to you guys next week.